Hey guys, Liz Fairy here. I just wanted to really quickly show you guys how to make a cat tail to go with your cat ears. Find my matching crochet cat ears tutorial in the description below. Some things you'll need for this tutorial are a crochet hook, I'm using a size E, a pair of scissors, a yarn needle, some bobby pins or stitch markers, and you'll need yarn in whatever color you want the tail to be. I'm just using a plain black yarn. And if you want the tail to be fluffy, you'll need a grooming brush. Also, if you want it to be really plush, use a thicker yarn. I'll just be using a basic worsted weight yarn for mine. If you want to add structure to your tail, you could use craft wire, or if you want to be fancy, you can try using beads and elastic thread. I'm doing it this way because I don't want the wire to come out of place, to poke through the stitches, or to break over time. Also, the beads will add weight to the tail and make it move more realistically. This is a super easy project. Basically, I'm just going to make a long tube to form the tail, then I'm going to cover my elastic and beads armature with the tube that I made. So first, let's make the tube. I'm going to start with the magic circle, so I'm going to loop my yarn around my fingers twice. Then through the middle of the two loops, I'm going to pull up a loop and chain one. This chain is going to count as the first stitch, so I'll mark it with my bobby pin. Next, I'll single crochet into the loops of my magic circle 5 times so that I have a total of 6 stitches on my circle. Now I have 5 single crochets on my magic circle. Now I'm going to close my magic circle. First I'll pull slightly on the tail. Now I have a bigger loop and a smaller loop. So I'm going to take the smaller loop and pull it from the side closest to the tail until the other loop closes completely. And now I have one big loop, so I'm going to pull on the tail until that loop closes completely. And now I'm going to work the rest of the rows in a spiral. So I'm going to single crochet into the chain I made to count as the first stitch. And in this row, I'm going to increase every stitch of the row so that I can make the tail a bit thicker. If you want, you could leave it like this for a doll size, or you could continue to increase for a few more rows if you wanted to make it bigger. I'm just going to increase for this one row because I want to have a relatively thin tail. Also, remember that I'll be fluffing the tail later, and that will make the tail look a bit bigger, so make sure to account for that. So in this row, I'll increase every stitch so that I'm increasing 6 times throughout the row. So I'm going to single crochet again into the same stitch to increase. Then I'll increase the next stitch by single crocheting twice into that stitch. I'm going to do that for every stitch of this row. And if you want to continue to increase in the next rows, just make sure to keep increasing 6 times per row, by increasing by the next number. In the next row, you would increase every second stitch, then in the next every third stitch, then every fourth stitch, and so on. If you want to learn more about how to increase crochet, check out my increasing and decreasing tutorial. Alright, I've done my row of increase. Now I'm just going to continue to single crochet until the tail reaches a length I like. I ended up single crocheting for about 70 rows, but you can go on for as long as you like. Now that the tail is a good length, I want to be able to attach it to a belt, so I'm just going to add a little belt loop by slip stitching to the first stitch of the next row. Then I'm going to chain 8. And slip stitch to the opposite side. Then I'll cut off a long tail of the yarn to use to sew the bottom closed. Next, I'll make the bead and elastic armature. Basically, I'm just going to measure the amount of beads it will take to fill the whole tail. Then I'll string those beads onto my elastic thread. The elastic thread was kind of too thin and not really stretchy enough, so I actually crocheted a chain using the thread, and threaded the beads onto that instead. Then I pulled the elastic thread chain taut on both sides and tied off the ends. Then just slip the armature inside the tail and sew closed. And if you like, you could leave it like this, or if you want a more realistic look, use a grooming brush to brush out the fibers of the tail until the whole tail is fuzzy. And now the tail is finished. I was originally going to put the tail on a belt and wear it on the outside, but I found a pair of yoga pants that I haven't repaired yet with a hole in the perfect spot, so it's going to have to wait a little longer to get repaired. I ended up pinning the tail to the back of a pair of black spandex shorts that I can wear under the yoga pants, and pulling the tail through the hole in the pants. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a like and share it on social media. You can find my matching cat ears tutorial in the description below, or if you want to support my work, consider donating to my Patreon page. You can get some pretty cool perks through Patreon, like seeing my videos before everyone else. Find more information about that at patreon.com/fairyrings. And here's the finished costume. I really love how this turned out. I actually managed to mostly hide the headband and my real ears under my hair. If you use this technique, I'd love to see your interpretation. Send me pictures at any of my social media pages, there'll be links in the description below. And if you want to keep seeing new videos like this in the future, subscribe to my channel and I'll see you all next time. Bye!